Hello and welcome to this video on Jack's Top 10. Today, we're going to discuss what Vladimir Putin has in his assets and how much salary does he get and where is he invested highly. So make sure to stay with us until the end of the video. According to the sources and information we collected from gqblog.com, in October last year, social networks literally broke out in a wave of indignation and rallies swept through the streets. The fact is that the question, how much does Putin earn per year? I would have to answer no 715,000 rubles per month, almost $11,000, as it was before, and 18.7 million rubles a year. The decree that the salary should be reviewed taking into account inflation, the president of the Russian Federation signed on his birthday. In 2014, the guarantor assured that he did not even know his official salary and immediately transferred the salary to his account with the bank Russia. I'll talk about possessions, expenses, and sources of salary, but in the beginning about who contains the main politician of the Russian Federation. In the Russian Federation, it is spelled out at the legislative level how exactly the provision of the head of state takes place. These points are indicated in the 2020 federal budget and regulate the categories of expenses as follows. Functioning 21.4 billion rubles, operational support 11.1 billion rubles, President of the Russian Federation 137 million rubles. It's difficult to understand and imagine how they differ among themselves and why we should pay for it. Personal property of the president, it cannot be said at first glance that V. Putin is too rich a man. In his declarations for several years, there have been no changes regarding new houses, apartments, vehicles, although Dmitry Anatolievich Medvedev, being the president of the Russian Federation, the last time too, had long ago made a major purchase in the declaration for 2009, Gaz Pobeda, 1948. All possessions are recorded on contractual persons, and unfortunately, this is a typical practice not only for Russia. Of course, few people believe that V. Putin has only 2 apartments and 3 vehicles, none of which are even closely related to the VIP class. The president of the Russian Federation has 2 apartments with an area of slightly more than 400 square meters, 78 square meters in Moscow, garage 18 square meters, garage space, a plot of land for 4,700 square meters. But this is according to the official version. Many journalists are constantly conducting investigations, not only what Putin's salary is, but how you can buy and maintain 20 residences around the world, hectares of land, and save billions of dollars. Of course, many of them are recorded with close friends and have long been taken offshore. Official residences and cottages belong to the state. Rumor has it that in that year, the president rebuilt a chic palace near St. Petersburg, Villa Singren. In total, he has not 1 castle, but as many as 20. In Altai, near Saratov, near Sochi, the president has a not-so-pathetic vehicle fleet. Niva Caravan Skif Gaz M21, although the service provided a real presidential fleet. According to unverified information, 700 cars are in the possession and all of them are at least luxury cars. Yacht B. Yeltsin got the Russia, and there is also a combat boat Petrel. According to Western media reporters, there are 2 more yachts, so the guarantor can consider himself a real captain of the flotilla. This is a 5-deck Olympia and Sirius. The last yacht was bought for $37 million, and its maintenance per year costs $4 million. Yachts are one of the weaknesses of a politician. I wonder how they would be appreciated by eco-activist Greta Thunberg. The official plane servicing the first person in the state has not changed since 1996. Il-96-300 but V. Putin does not refuse private aircraft. Quite a lot is known about the first side of the Russian Federation. 4 engines, long-range wide-body liner, precise and advanced communications and control equipment. The average cost is $500 million. Journalists say that at least 3 more aircrafts are in the possession of the president of the Russian Federation. Vladimir Putin's expenses, how much the president himself spends on his desires and purchases, is a mystery behind 7 locks. Last year, expenditures from the treasury for the maintenance of the president and his administration amounted to 11.7 billion rubles. For the current year, a 3-fold increase in expenses was laid down, up to 3 billion rubles. It's planned that by 24.2, servicing The work of the guarantor to residents of the country will cost more than 2,022 billion rubles a year. What does the president spend money on? They say that he buys stocks, securities of Russian and international companies, increasing his dominance in them. But of course, with the help of proxies. It's significant that safety remains one of the most expensive categories. How much do Putin's guards earn? On average, about 30 to 40% of the total budget allocated for the maintenance of the guarantor. Since the beginning of 2020, almost 1.7 million rubles have been allocated per day for the functioning of the president. For comparison, the president spends $4 million per year on security. An interesting point, in 2012, Putin's salary increased by 58.18%. In the same year, Lyudmila Alexandrovna Putin declared 121,000 profits. This is the last year in which, according to the press, the couple lived together. It's not difficult to calculate how much Putin makes in a month in rubles, because until April 1st, he submits an official declaration stating the salary for the past year, and it gets into the public domain. Based on these data for the year, we calculate the monthly income. It's interesting to see how much the guarantor became richer. I recall that until 2012, V. Putin was the head of the government. If the salary of $11,000 must be divided into 30 calendar days, we do not have days off for the heads of the state. We get $366 a day. It's not difficult to calculate that per second. It's $0.004. Well, the amount is not sky high. It's significant. In 2015, Forbes did not include V. Putin in the list of the richest countries just because he did not receive confirmation that he owns more than $1 billion. What are the salaries of leaders of other states? It's always interesting to compare how much the presidents of different countries earn in order to understand. Does the salary of the first person in the state depend on how successful and prosperous his country is? For example, Donald Trump only receives $1 per year. Work without remuneration for positions is prohibited, but Trump became the third president who agreed to the minimum. The poorest president is Uruguayan politician House Music. He receives $12,500 a month, of which he retains only the 10th part. Zelensky receives about $1,000 per month, and his predecessor Petro Poroshenko also agreed to such a modest amount. Chinese President Xi Jinping expects about $2,000 a month, although he himself belongs to an elite rich clan. I will focus on upper managers and their salaries. The French president receives $17,500 per month. The salaries of the Chancellor of Germany and the Prime Minister of Canada are identical, $22,000 each. British Prime Minister, $16,500. Turkish President, $13,000. The President of Guatemala, $19,000. The highest income from existing in the world from the President of Singapore, $147,000. This salary is due to the fact that representatives of the shadow business could not bribe him. Of course, such figures for one of the wealthiest people on the planet, the owner of Tesla, do not look very large. Many do not just know who Elon Musk, but can even be called his most profitable companies. Putin's income indicators are official, and in the press, one can sometimes find the statement that his total capital is more than $50 billion. The Hermitage Capital experts speak of a figure of $200 billion. They read the blog and learned not only who pays Putin his salary, but also how it's changed over the past decade. In addition to the basic salary, the guarantor is fully secured by the state. To summarize, I want to draw attention to the fact that I used open sources, public figures, access to which every citizen of the country has access to. Of course, the first person cannot get a penny, and even the average salary, which in the Russian Federation at the beginning of the year is slightly more than 40,000 rubles, but the official salary of 1.5 million rubles a month without taking into account collateral is already too much. I wish everyone, at least the average salary, is not lower than that of the heads of the different countries over the past year. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel.